Happy Friday, everybody. We've made it to the end of the week, and I am excited to bring you today's topic. I had someone on Instagram reach out to me yesterday and asked me my thoughts on a IMO, a different company. I'll just say it. What are your thoughts on Symmetry Financial Group? She could have said anything. My answer would have been the same. And I want to share with you my same exact answer that I share with everybody when someone comes to me and asks me my thoughts on a particular IMO. So thank you, Camilla, on Instagram for asking me this question because it inspired today's video. If you're just now finding this channel, my name is Dana Neeson. I run a telesales team for Tailored Legacy. We sell final expense insurance over the phone with one carrier, and my job is to help you have stronger, more sophisticated sales conversations. Today's topic is, should I stay or should I go?
Should I stay or should I go?
How do we know when it's a good time to jump ship? Is the grass greener? And what types of things should we be looking for when we make a decision to join a company and when we decide whether or not we want to stay or whether we want to try something new? So when this agent reached out to me and asked me my thoughts on Symmetry Financial Group, my first question to her was, is that who you're with now? She responded with, no, someone from them contacted me and are really pushing hard for me to give them a chance, but sounds like an MLM. I asked her who she's currently with. She gave me the name of the company. And I told her, you know what? This is a great video idea. I'm going to post my thoughts on the questions that she's asking to give not her more clarity, but also maybe it'll help give you some more clarity to figure out if you're in the right place and whether or not it's time for you to jump ship. The first thing that I want you to consider when figuring out where you should go, what makes the most sense for you, you should be getting a paper and a pen, taking notes. It is, what are your goals with where you're currently at, or what you currently want to get out of the financial services industry, the life insurance industry? What are your goals? Do you have income goals? Do you have culture goals? Do you have goals when it comes to feeling like you need a lot of support or continuing education? Like, what are your goals when it comes to what are you looking for in an IMO, in a company, in an agency? And you need to write those down. The next thing you have to do is answer your own questions or answer your goals in the form of the questions. So if one of your goals is, I want to earn 100,000, the question needs to be, has the company that I'm with clearly laid out a plan so that I know exactly what I have to do in order to get my income goal? And that is a yes or no question. If the answer is yes, the company I'm with has clearly laid out a plan for me to attain the income goal that I have. The second question is, have you done it? Have you done all of the steps that said company has laid out for you in order for you to get your goal? And you need to be honest with yourself here, because if the answer is no, then another company isn't going to solve this problem for you. You need to do every single thing that your upline and the company has told you to do and actually apply it for a consistent amount of time so that you can know, as far as this particular goal, is it the company or is it you? If the answer to that question is yes, I have done every single thing that my company and upline has asked of me for a consistent amount of time, and I'm talking at least 3 to 6 months, and you are not seeing the road to get to the income that you want, then maybe it's time to consider a change. Because if you're doing everything that is asked of you and X plus Y does not equal Z and it's going the other direction, then maybe it is the upline. Maybe it is the company. Number 2, do you have a steady stream of leads and people to talk to where you're at? If the answer is yes, are you investing enough to get the amount of leads that you need? If you're doing telesales, you have to be getting at least, in my opinion, 200 to 300 leads a week, depending on where the leads are coming from. If they're age leads, you might need a little bit more. So do you have a steady stream of leads? Do you have access to a steady stream of leads? If the answer is yes, and then going back to number one, are you buying the amount of leads that your upline is telling you to buy? And have you done that for a consistent amount of time? If the answer to that is no, well, then you haven't done everything that it takes in order to see success where you're at. If the answer is yes, you are getting a steady stream of leads, then that leads us to question number 3. What does your process look like? Does your IMO, does your agency, have they given you a process of how to call the leads, text the leads? Are you TCPA compliant? Are you staying under the guidelines for SMS? Like, are you doing things the right way, or are you just trying to wing it? Do you have a sales process? Did they give you a script? Are you converting the leads when they get on the phone? Do you know what to say in the first 30 seconds? Because it's one thing if you're buying the amount of leads that your upline is telling you to buy, but then if you're not closing them because you don't know what you're doing, then you have to figure out, does my upline, does my agency, do they provide me with the support, the continuing education, and the structure that I need in order to manage the leads that I'm getting? Okay, so if the answer to that is yes, they do, are you attending every single training? Are you taking notes? Are the trainings recorded? Are you rewatching them? Are you applying everything that you're learning? Or does it all go out the window when you get on the phone with someone? Only these things you are going to be able to answer. Are you meeting with your upline? Do they have time available for you? Are you role playing? Do you listen to your sales calls? Is the whole problem that you're experiencing a you problem? Do you just not have the skills that it takes in order to buy the leads that you need so that you can get the income goals that you want? Is it really you, or is it the agency? Because you can't just jump from one agency to another and expect different results if you are the one that needs to change. So if your upline and your agency does not provide the coaching and the training and the continuing education and the support that you're looking for, but you like where you're at, you like the leads that you're getting, you like what you're selling, well, then maybe it's time for you as an independent contractor, maybe you need to take that initiative and that next step into a sales training program. Not every IMO is responsible. They're not required to teach you how to sell, right? You're an independent contractor. It is your responsibility. Sometimes we need to take some personal accountability. I hear a lot of agents saying, well, they don't give me any support. They don't give me any training. They don't do this. They don't do that. I'm sorry. I thought you signed up for this business because you wanted to be a business owner, right? You're an entrepreneur. You have to take some personal accountability. You got into a business that requires extensive sales experience, or at least ownership in where you're at, and possibly investment into yourself to learn those skills. It honestly isn't the responsibility of your upline, of your agency, to teach you how to sell. It's your responsibility. So, however, if that is something that you don't want to invest in, and you want that as part of your agency, then that's a whole different story. You might not be able to be at an agency that gives you 100, 150% contracts and teaches you how to sell, right? You may not be able to have your cake and eat it too. There's a give and take here. So you have to figure out what is important to you. And part of that is making a checklist. What are my income goals? Going back to that. Do your income goals allow you to get there if you were to jump ship? Have you talked to this other company? Have they laid it all out for you? And does all the roads lead you back to how many leads you have to buy and your sales skills in order to convert them? And if you fall into the same category no matter where you go, then you might as well just stay where you're at. Because the only thing that is going to change is the carriers that you're with and the leads that are generated, but you're still responsible for buying them at a high volume and converting them. The leads don't sell themselves. You still have to invest in a formal sales training if you are not converting your leads at least a 30 to 40%. Okay, let's talk about the culture. Do you enjoy it? Right? That has to be an important part of where we're at. I mean, unless you're so super independent where you're just worrying about yourself and everything around you is just noise, then that part might not matter to you. But if culture is important to you, if you want to show up to work every day and be a part of something bigger than yourself, does the IMO that I'm with, is the agency that I'm with, does it have the culture that aligns with my values? Are we encouraging each other? Do we help each other, pick each other up when we fall? Are we giving each other ideas on how we could have done this or how you could have done that better? Do you like being on a Zoom room environment? Is that something that helps you feel motivated? Do you just like communicating through a group chat? So, what type of culture are you looking for? Do you want a management team that supports you the way that we do, right? We jump on your calls, we help you sell the darn policy. We have sales training every morning. We listen to sales calls. Like, is that what you want? Or do you just want more of a hands off, go to YouTube, watch some videos that we've posted approach? You have to figure out what type of culture that you want and align yourself with a company that fits that mold. But I firmly believe that unless all roads lead back to the company itself, not doing what they said they were going to do, not providing you with the opportunity that you need to get the results, if they have not laid out an actual plan for you to get to where you want to be, and you have done, actually they've done that, and you've done all of the steps that they've said for a long period of time, and you just keep hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, okay, well then maybe it is time to start looking to see what else is out there. But if your motivation to want to look at greener grass is because another company is trying to recruit you and making it sound like, hey, just give us a shot, and they're making it about them and not about you, then you really have to think hard about, is this what I want to do? Do I just feel special right now because they want me, right? That feels good. There's a part of being recruited that feels good because they're giving you all this attention. And maybe your current company is not, because they already have you, right? So think about what's pulling you towards one company versus where you're at. Are you really engaged with the company that you're with? Are you really doing everything that you can to get the results that you want? Are there top producers at the company that you're at right now? Have you reached out to them? What are they doing that's different from you? Because I really do believe that there are hundreds of companies out there with top producers that are having great results, that are making a great income. And the only thing that's preventing you from getting to where they are is most likely yourself. And until you realize that and understand that, it doesn't matter how many companies you go to, you're probably going to find that the dead end wherever you end up. Now, most people who end up losing a lot of money with agencies or IMOs that they've bought a lot of leads and they end up wanting to be part of a company that provides free leads, it really doesn't have anything to do with the company they bought the leads from. It's that their expectations of what they thought they were going to get when they signed on was different than what they actually got. And it's not that the leads were bad. It's not that the people in the culture were bad. It's that they realized that the amount of money that it takes to be successful in this industry did not match their sales skills. It did not match the amount of hats that they wanted to make. Maybe they were not doing it in a system that helped them stay organized and efficient. Maybe they were doing everything through Excel or paper and their cell phones. You'll find very, very quickly that unless you have a real structured system in place that keeps a steady stream of leads, that has a steady approach for teaching, that will help you figure out what you're doing wrong so that you can do it right, 90% of people out there really are what we call intrapreneurs, people that want to be independent, want to have their own business like an entrepreneur, but really shouldn't be investing the thousands of dollars into the leads, because the leads by itself do not create a business. What creates a business is all the other things that go into it. Knowing how to manage and run a CRM, knowing the laws behind it for compliance purposes, knowing the sales skills so that you can manage your conversion rate, servicing your leads on the back end, making sure that what you're selling is staying on the books, and even getting a book of referral business from it. There's so much more that goes into running a business for life insurance than just buying leads and having conversations. So hopefully that provides some clarity. Do not leave where you're at unless you have done every single thing that your upline and agency has asked you to do, and you have done it for a consistent amount of time. Do not leave where you're at if you have done everything your upline has told you to do, but you don't have the sales skills. Go invest in some sales skills. Now, if you don't have the money to do that, and your back is against the wall, and you need to pay your bills, well, look, there are companies like us that will provide you that training for free, that will support you along the way, that will pay you for talk time, that will help you pay your bills while you're still trying to figure it out. But that goes back to start. What are you looking for in a company? And sometimes you don't really know what you're looking for until you've experienced it first. Sometimes hindsight is 2020. You know what you thought you wanted, but then once you got into it, the experience of that has now changed your perspective, and your focus has shifted to something that maybe provides a little bit more structure, provides a lot more support, provides you with that steady stream of leads, helps you close that business, helps you retain that business, and ultimately you feel good about coming to work every day, helping families, writing policies, getting referrals, being part of something bigger than yourself, and ultimately still being able to hit the income goals that you want to make. If any of this resonated with you, please leave me a comment below. Let me know if you're thinking about leaving your agency and if you're trying to make it work first. I truly believe that if you ask me, should I leave XYZ agency, the first response I'm going to give you is, I don't know if you should. Let's talk about what have you done to try to make it work. Have you followed all the steps that they've asked you to do? If not, why not? Why do you think it's going to change if you go somewhere else? It might change temporarily when you get that high in those endorphins of a new place and a new agency, but ultimately all roads lead back to you. And until you can look at yourself in the mirror and finally make the decision to go all in somewhere, nothing's ever going to change. You're always going to think it's better somewhere else. Have a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. We are taking 3 days off. I hope you enjoy some time with your friends and family, and we'll see you again next week.